I will call this meeting of the Historic Preservation Commission to order at 7 p.m. Terry or, oh, wait. Okay. Would you like to take roll of the members?
Mr. Hayes, Ms. Holliday,
Here.
Ms. O'Donnell,
Here.
Mr. Roberts,
Here.
Mr. Shepard,
Here.
Ms. Urban,
Here.
and Mr. Weiss.
Here.
Thank you. Are there any changes to the agenda from what was sent out?
There are none.
Okay, thanks. And I did not see any minutes from the June meeting. No, okay. Are there any written communications that we want to go over?
We've received none.
Is there anyone in the audience who wants to address the Historic Preservation Commission on any topic? Yep, Phyllis. Please go ahead and state your name in advance.
I'm Phyllis Williams, 810 West Main in Urbana. And I wanted to give you a heads up as the president of the Half Century Club that the dinner this year will be October 23rd, once at 6 o'clock, once again at the Unitarian Church. We're hoping to have a lovely program on Ricker and the doings at Altgeld Hall. And we'll be honoring, among a couple others, Michael Walker for almost a half century with the Urbana Park District. So put that on your calendar and more will be forthcoming. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Phyllis. There are not any continued public hearings. There's not any unfinished business. There are not any new public hearings. We do not have any new business. Is there any monitoring to report on the existing historic properties by our commission members?
No.
All right. Do we want to have the staff report?
I don't really have much to report other than I'm not Marcus, as most of you know. Marcus, who'd been manning this chair so valiantly for I don't know several years now. He's taken a job with Bloomington, so we wish him the best. So I will be your liaison for the commission going forward. So I'm excited to be back after a hiatus of, I don't know, 5 or 6 years, maybe 7.
Thank you, Kevin.
We also have, I think, some new staff that had introduced themselves earlier. Darius White, our new city administrator, is sitting over in the wings on that side. Olivia Jovine is our new community development services director. She's sitting back here behind me. And in a minute, I will introduce you to the third person over here.
Thank you, Kevin, and welcome, Olivia and Darius. It was wonderful to meet you, and I enjoyed receiving that welcome newsletter as well from the mayor introducing both of you, so thanks so much. Okay, now we'll go into the study session on the update to the CLG grant and mapping.
Okay, so we have hired an intern, Adeline Evans. She's going to get set up here and share the progress that she has made. But if you'll recall, we received a CLG grant to really to do a couple of things. So when we transitioned from our old website to our new website, a lot of the historic preservation information that was on the old site, it had been kind of buried on the old site, and that didn't get carried over to the new site because we're trying to have sort of a sleeker new website. So we saw that really as an opportunity to do something better And also, so we got the grant to kind of take a lot of that great information that we already have, put it into a better web interface, and also what do I want to say? Bring back the old web mapping that we had, because we had received a CLG grant to do a web map back in 2015. And that, with changing technology, as happens, things break, and if you don't know how to fix it, then it just goes away. So this is doing two things. It's taking a lot of that really high-quality information that we used to have on the website, and it's taking the mapping capabilities and the mapping information and sort of putting it in one spot. Adeline, if you want to introduce yourself, maybe give a little background about yourself, and then you can show us what you got.
Hello, my name is Adeline Evans. I'm going into my junior year in architecture at the University of Illinois. And yeah, I've been working this summer. I'm originally from Montana. And just working to recreate the site to make it flow better and be easier to use for people to take tours of Urbana for all of the historic sites. So starting off,
It looks like it's on. If you just move it closer, you can slide it closer to yourself. Yeah, and sometimes you got to kind of lean in. So.
Okay, is it better now?
Well, you're a soft-spoken person.
Okay. Is it better now? It's good? Okay. So starting throughout this past school year, I was working with Professor Holliday and doing photography of all of the different sites to update them and to see any changes that have happened to them. So this is the 100 most significant buildings, as well as any locally registered and nationally registered sites. With all of the photography, I walked all of the routes to make sure that they're actually accessible for people to do tours of the area, and also to take note of any changes that have happened. Some have since been torn down, they've had additions, or they've had parts of them removed, so to just see what their current state is. So all of the information is a mix of what is currently available and what was previously, as well as researching into all of the different sites to see what changes have been made. One of the largest examples is sororities and fraternities, and how they change which club they're housing, or they've changed use to being apartment buildings or to being entirely vacant. So updating all of that information and changing it to be more timeless for more consistent use. So rather than saying, some of them were saying that they were 29 years old, but then obviously that changes every year. So changing the wording so that it's actually usable throughout many years, so that it has minimal upkeep. So this is the main page. It links to the 100 most significant buildings, which I have shown here, and each of these has updated images, as well as historic images and architectural descriptions, as well as historic descriptions. And these are, again, a mix of what was previously available and research into what their current state is. So then there's also mapping of local landmarks as well as national landmarks. So this map contrasts the two against each other so that there's a visual for people viewing. And then these are the local landmarks where it goes into more detail about each of them. And again, this is the information that was previously available. If there are podcasts for sites, those are linked, and then their ordinances are linked if they are available. Yes, yeah. Yeah, so they are on YouTube, and we've had a few bugs with getting the podcast map planned out, so it isn't fully up and running yet, but it is something that will be added when we figure that out. Local districts are also highlighted, and they will show if they are contributing or non-contributing, as well as showing information about each of them. All of the districts are shown on this page. And this will be live. Currently, this is viewing it, and I can send it to all of you, as well as if there's anything that then you guys see, then please send it to me. I'll be working for the next month. So if there's any issues that you see with it, please let me know. And then it has the history of historic preservation. So the website itself is very easy to navigate. So just going back up to the top, and then there's the commission page, which gives all of the information and everything that is linked on the current website for the the current page for the commission. And the final thing is, as far as the graphics, it is taken from the Urbana Guide for websites, but the colors are adjusted so that they are accessible with ADA for color contrast, because previously some were hard to view against each other. So especially in cases where you're showing them against one another with local versus national in this example, they're made so that you can actually see the difference between the two. And all of the maps for users who are on their phones have the option to see their own location on the map and to also search them as well if they are wanting to. Yeah, and all of the accessibility is made so that it is easy for users to use on their phone when you're actively out touring these sites. So rather than having a dark background, we lightened it so that it is easier to read when the sun's shining down on your phone. And that is pretty much it.
Thanks. Does anybody have any questions?
So how many hours, it looks like you've done a lot. How many hours did you put in, or are you billing, or however that's going on?
Yeah, so throughout the school year, I worked part-time, about 5 to 10 hours a week with the photography and other projects that we were working on.
And was that just like for school credit or something that wasn't paid? That wasn't part of the grant or anything?
That was from my university budget.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I started in mid-June here, and I've been working 34 hours a week on this. So, yeah, however many hours that is in total. I'm
Yeah,
not quite
well,
sure.
I mean, I can see you've done a lot, and
You.
basically working full-time on it, well, close to it anyway. So it was sad to me when I heard that all that stuff was inaccessible. So I'm really thrilled that it's going to be out there again. And what I see looks pretty good, so well done.
Yeah, and as Adeline said, we're going to send you all, we'll email you all a link so that you can go through this in the next, it'd be great if you could do it in the next week or two, because she's only with us for like another month. But let us know how we can make it better, more accessible, you know, things that might be missing or what have you. We'll take feedback and we'll do what we can to make it better.
So the aim to go, live, so to speak, is that after the review process, or is there a date that you had in mind?
I don't know that we have a specific date in mind, but once Adeline's gone, I don't know that there's going to be anybody around that would be working on it. So I'd guess the go live date is probably about a month from now.
Yeah, this is kind of like part fish and part animal. The commission has expressed an interest in reprinting the Royer brochures because we have a Royer Arts and Architectural District. But the district is not actually officially part of the Historic Preservation Commission. And I'm wondering, to give it any kind of energy and credence, should we have a conversation about adopting it as part of the overview of the Historic Preservation Commission? Because we're talking about different important historic districts and different kind of categories of landmarking. And we have a historic district in the downtown. You didn't really mention so much how you are going to display the particulars of that district to us, but I trust that you will be doing it. But I'm wondering if it would be of any use for the future of the Royer Arts and Architectural District to be adopted by the Historic Preservation Commission officially, or would there be a problem that you feel like there would be, like that would be not under the purview of this commission, because just when we adopt a landmark, there are very particular ways that we access and assimilate them into our database. But we do have potentially another district that has significance in the community historically, and certain, you know, it has 9 markers in the downtown area for people to see and to read. So I'm just wondering, is it fish or is it fowl?
I would kind of think we'd need a new category for it, because we have landmarks and districts, historic districts, and it's neither one. So
When it was first suggested back in the old days, in 2009 or whatever, we wanted to make it a arts and historic architectural district, but the chairman of the HPC was very adamant that it could not be mentioned that way because there was already a Royer district, which was 2 buildings in the neighborhood on Busey Avenue. And so the historic aspect of it had to be dropped out to satisfy the commission director at the time. But I'm wondering if there's like a larger, more open feeling about it, that this commission might somehow incorporate it, because if it was going to grow, if it was going to prosper and not be always relegated to the background of some lost part of the community's website, it would be a really good thing to make a formal adoption of the district if the commissioners are willing to do it.
Yeah, and I guess my question was more related to like which art, you know, because I don't know which specific area, you're downtown, the downtown footprint.
is it just certain buildings that Royer designed? Is that what it is?
Well, if you looked at the map of the district that's on the brochure, you see that it is a walking district in the downtown area. It's basically a downtown-centered thing because it was intended to inspire interest, community interest, and tourism, to advocate for tourism and make so that if you visit the downtown, you could learn about it. Otherwise, we are just looking at storefronts, but we don't have any conscious information about them displayed in the downtown area. So, and it was supposed to be centered on the history, because obviously the buildings were of a certain era, being designed by Joseph Royer, you know, who was, you know, active from 1897 to 1954. So there are not going to be any new buildings added to it, but we can recognize buildings that exist that have not been recognized officially yet, if we wished to. So since I helped to create the district when I was on the city council, I would like to advocate that we try to include it in our conversations when we talk about historic Urbana. So, you know, and it wasn't intended to be just an arts district. I mean, that's sort of where we ended up, because we couldn't call it historic because of the conflict with Royer's home. being a district described already as a landmark. So I'd like maybe to have a conversation about this in an upcoming
Something we
meeting.
could have, I don't, a
Yeah.
study session?
Yeah, I would recommend we have a study session on this particular topic. Since tonight we're talking about this this web map and sort of website. I don't see any reason we couldn't also include that on this and just state this isn't actually a local landmark district, but it is a recognized district, and it's got great info available for us to put on here. So I don't see why we wouldn't, at the very least, include it on this website. And then we can sort of have that discussion of how we want to treat it with respect to the commission's purview and everything.
Do you have time in a month to throw that in there?
I could, yeah, if there's information or if there's the brochure that you were talking about, if I could look at it, then I could definitely add it. It would be fairly easy to add another.
I know Marcus is gone, but I think he was storing the hundreds of brochures that we have.
Yeah, I know where the brochures are at. So I can share those with Adeline tomorrow. Yeah.
I was just reading through the documentation from 2007, and I don't know if, I haven't found the rest of the documentation, but it does seem like the issue that was raised then is still the same now, which feels nitpicky, but like the use of the term district is a legal term that's recognized through CLGs. And so I do think that the use of district might be a little bit of an issue, but that feels like a study session question, is like what to call it. And
Going forward?
yeah, and how to, if there is now an ability to landmark some structures to make a multi-property historic district that's either local or national, I agree that a study session would be great for working that out. Yeah.
So do you think then that that it would have to meet certain requirements to be accepted by the Historic Preservation Commission as a project?
I think that anyone who's interested in landmarking any building in this community just needs to pull the paperwork and put the documentation together and bring it to the commission. Like if there's local interest in properties being designated as historic, it's hard to prejudge them until someone has done the research and documentation to actually put things together. But I also think that's something a study session possibly would be good for.
Okay, well, I appreciate the openness of the commission to consider it.
Adeline, this looks amazing, this work that you've done all summer and through the year. I look forward to being able to click on things myself. I really like how you were mindful about accessibility, the ability to also use it on the phone and be able to read it. The details that went into this are recognized.
Thank
So
you.
we really appreciate your hard work in this. I guess my only question, though, is, and I guess it's going to happen like within the next few weeks, is how will it link to the City of Urbana's website? You know, how will it be able to be found and discovered by just anyone who's curious? Have you started looking into that, of where it would fall on the main website at all?
Yeah, so currently there is the preservation page. It's fairly minimal. It really only has PDFs attached to it. So I'm not sure if the plan is to either replace that or just add it to that. But it is definitely able to be published publicly and used in that way. I also have, for example, this is linked back to the Urbana website. So there are definitely ways of interlinking whatever is needed and where it will end up being housed.
Great. Thank you so much, and thanks for your thoroughness with this work that you've done.
Thank you.
I'll add to that it's been a real pleasure working with Adeline, who has a great future in preservation ahead of her. So kudos and thank you.
Great.
right. I apologize. I do want to back up because I realized when we went over written communications, I neglected, we did receive, or at least the commission members received an email today, actually from Phyllis. And so I just wanted to mention it. I think we need more time to, like, look at it on our own and before we discuss it at all. But I just wanted to mention that we received communication via email, and it was regarding Section 106, the recent presentation related to the Urbana Civic Center. So we need to go into the details of that and better understand before we can have any kind of thoughtful discussion. But within that written communication, PACA provided their recommendation or position on what they believe should go forward as far as that that lot. All right. Moving back to the agenda, there are not any announcements, and we don't have any further business. So we will adjourn the meeting at 7:25 p.m. And just as a reminder, no business will be discussed after the meeting is adjourned. And thank you all for attending.
Thanks.
Thank you.